Hello everyone, I'm Imeilda Fatika Sari, and in this video I will explain my assignment or task for regional economics class for the final project, an analysis of Mexico City using several regional economic tools. So why I choose Mexico City? It is actually very interesting because Mexico City is one of the biggest cities in the world, and it is the capital of Mexico and very important economic center. The city contributes around 15% of the country's GDP and is a key area for services, finance, and the government. But Mexico City also has many challenges like inequality, congestion, pollution, and the big difference between rich and poor areas. That is why I choose it as my study case. So in this project, I actually use several analyses such as growth pole theory, location quotient or LQ, shifter analysis, GRDP comparison, and other analyses such as regional disparity analysis, cluster analysis, and urban economics. But for this video learning, I will only explain it the growth pole theory, location quotient, and GRDP comparison for the sake of limited time for this video learning. Okay, so the first one is growth pole theory. So what is the growth pole theory actually? So from the economist Francois Perroux say that economic growth doesn't happen everywhere at once. It starts in a few strong places, it called growth poles, usually big city or strong industry, and then spread to other areas. So Mexico City is the capital and biggest economic center in Mexico. With over 21 million people in the metro area, it produces nearly 15% of the country's total GDP, about 212 billion USD in 2022. It is the richest and most important city for businesses, government, and the finance. And as we can see here in the table, we have Mexico City as the metropolitan, Tijuana, Guadalajara, Monterrey, and Puebla, the oldest city in the Mexico. And the indicator we have is population, GDP per capita, unemployment rate, average monthly salary, and industry, also the employment distribution of the industry. So, as the analysis that we conduct, we can say that Mexico City fits in this theory because it is home to many national and global companies, banks, and government institutions. Almost 90% of the economics come from services like finance, media, and telecom. It gets the biggest share of foreign investment, about 27% of the national total. And top universities like UNAM and TIAM help train skilled workers and support innovation. But also there is a spread effect and big wage effect in it. The spread effect was like some of benefits from the Mexico City growth and also help the other regions, such as many people move to the city for job with a high employment rate. Infrastructure like metro and highways helps connect to nearby city, and knowledge and new technology from the university spread to other parts of the country. And for the big wage effect or the negative impact was there are too much immigration caused the traffic, housing problem, and overloaded public services. Other regions lose skilled workers and get less investment. Pollution, water shortage, and high living costs create serious problem in it. So poor people struggle with low wages and expensive living conditions. Okay, so the next one is LQ or location quotient. So LQ is a tool that used in regional economics to find out which sector or industries are strong or special in a certain area, like city or province, compared to the national average. And the LQ works like when it compares the percentage of a certain industry in a region economy to the percentage of the same industry in the whole country. So in this case, it was Mexico City and Mexico. As we can see here, LQ is equal to employment in sector E in region divided by total employment in region, and it was divided by employment in sector E in nation and employment in sector N in nation divided by total employment in nation, and the total was like in here. Okay, so based on the equation here, the LQ equal to, we can get that the services, the LQ is equal to 1.45, which is mean it was base sector. dominant in Mexico City. Services are highly contracted in Mexico City compared to the national economy. This suggests that Mexico City exports services to other regions, making it best sector and that drives the economic activity. Okay, so based on the equation here, the LQ equal to, we can get that the services, the LQ is equal to 1.45, which just means it was base sector dominant in Mexico City. Services are highly contracted in Mexico City compared to the national economy. This suggests that Mexico City exports services to other regions, making it best sector and that drives the economic activity. And for the industry, the LQ was equal to 0.48. That meant it was non-base sector, less significant in Mexico City. So the industry is underrepresented in Mexico City compared to the national economics, meaning it is not a base sector. So the city is likely imports industrial goods from other regions instead of producing them locally. And the last one was agriculture. The LQ was equal to 0.08. That was mean it was non-base sector or minimal in Mexico City. So the agriculture is almost non-existent in Mexico City compared to the national level. This sector is not a base sector and the city relies heavily on import of agriculture product from other region. So based on that, we can say that Mexico City economic is service driven with the LQ of 1.45, indicating that services are the base sector, and in contrast, industry and agriculture, was the low percent, suggests that the city primarily import rather than produce the sector. So the next one is different production approach, GRDP comparison based on of the region in the chosen metropolitan area, which is Mexico and in the Mexico City. So the comparison was between the Mexico City GRDP based on production in 2010, comparison and production in 2020. And also in table 2, it was Mexico City in GRDP in 2010 and GRDP 2020 and 2010 prices. So we're like comparison between these prices, so we can see the GRDP comparison. So as we can see in the first table, the Mexico City GRDP is declined by 2.1% from 2010 to 2020, mainly due to drop in industry and services. The industrial sector fell by 8.7%, while services saw a slight decline. Agriculture remained stable but play a minor role, possibly because include economic downturn, policy change, or external shocks like COVID-19. And the second table is consistent and show that Mexico City real GRDP is adjusted for inflation declined by 38.82% from 2010 to 2020. This indicates a severe economic contraction like due to the major decline in the industry, minus 42.9%, and services minus 88% sector. It's possibly because include economic downturn, structural shift, or external shock like COVID-19. So based on this analysis, we can get that this result highlight the need for stronger economic resilience strategies, policy adjustment, and investment in key sectors to support future growth and stability. And based on the analysis, we can conclude that Mexico City is the main economic driver of Mexico, especially in the services sector. However, its rapid growth has led to inequality between rich and poor areas, dependence on other regions for food and industry, and major urban challenges like pollution, traffic, and house issue. Tools like LQ shift share show that while the city is competitive, it also increased the gap other regions. To ensure fair and sustainable development, Mexico must decentralize growth, improve urban infrastructure, and invest in environmental solutions. And Mexico City future must balance strength with equity and sustainability. Okay, I think that's it for the explanation of the last project. Thank you for the attention and have a nice day. Thank you.